Hello, everybody. First of all, let me apologize for being very late. I don't really have too much of an excuse except for these things happen, you know? I haven't managed to set myself up very well. Wonder if I should move to the sofa. You haven't seen my sofa before. Maybe we'll do that. But I am going to be interviewing someone today, and I think you're all big fans of his. We're going to talk a little bit about last week's episode because we ought to have some really fun stuff. I am going to invite him to join me. Hopefully I do a better job at this. Hopefully this all goes to plan. Let's have a look. Go live in a room. Here he is. Come on, don't stand. Is it working? Alejandro!
Oh, wait.
Yay!
I'm high up. Hold on. Let me see something.
No.
I'm gonna move some stuff back. Sorry, everybody. There you go. It's still. Why am my face cut off? There it is.
Hey,
Oh, cool.
you were just showing us chest and t-shirt. How's it going?
It's good, man. How are you? How was the rest of your day today?
It was wonderful. So for everyone listening, me and Alan today, I had one short scene after I worked together, so I finished after you. But after my live last week, the week before, I really felt like I wanted to bring more people from the East into the conversation because, you know, a lot of the questions about like how I interact with Casey and obviously Alejandro and Casey. So how did you end up joining the show?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me all right? Because you get a little choppy sometimes. Is that all right? You hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Okay. Because sometimes on this end it's a little choppy, but I hear you now. You're good.
Okay. I can. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi's good. Okay, go.
Sure. No, let me fix something real quick. If I do this, I'm gonna take off. I'll be right with you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out so I can get a good like connection here. Now,
Whilst we're waiting for Alejandro, I'm just gonna have some tea. I'm gonna get to your questions in a moment, but I've got my own questions for Alejandro, and I think you're going to enjoy them just as much as I did.
I got you.
A movie poster. Anyway.
Sorry. So I switched. I turned off my data, put on the Wi-Fi. So we're better now. Hey y'all. How'd I get involved with the show?
Yeah, like what happened? What was your journey to joining New Amsterdam?
So I was supposed to do a play. I was supposed to do a play, like a regional theater play, when I got the audition for New Amsterdam. I was supposed to I was set to do it. I was gonna go do it. I had workshopped it at the Vineyard Theater in New York, and New York Theater Workshop, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna do the play," and that was it. And then I got this audition, and then I remember like the audition. I remember it because it was like 2 pages, and there was a really big scene in it. I remember because it was a scene between me and you, but it was supposed to be like a 3-episode thing. That's all it ever said. It said like 3 episodes.
The second episode of the show, not the pilot, the second episode. And it was, I remember the character, they didn't know how Casey would be around for.
Yeah, and I think I was super fortunate enough for them to like weave me in more because I think, especially at the time of the show, it being a new show, I'm assuming that like writers are trying to figure out what works and they're trying to build around the show as they go. So I think I got like really fortunate there to be like sort of this a part of the fabric of the show.
We got fortunate. Are we out
We
of
get
sync with each other? There you go.
yeah, I guess yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah. We got really fortunate to be a part of this awesome show, and I guess I I was on a few episodes, and I just came back and back, and then like I'm so grateful that the writers and everybody has been so so awesome and wonderful, and just really just generous, and it's the best thing I've ever like been on. The best kind of crew I've worked with, or writers and cast, and it was really just it's such a joy being on this show, and I'm glad that they've expanded more onto the world of the show and into Casey. It's really cool. It's really cool. I never thought I'd be a part of something like this, and yeah, it's really I'm very grateful for it. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's been so hang on. Light off. I feel like it's okay. I feel like this season we really got to see a lot more of Casey, and
Mhm.
when we've been working together, really felt the energy like coming from you in the scene, and I'm like, that's good. Usually it's when I've got my, isn't it? So I
Yeah,
have to wait till I can see it, or we were sat side by side, so I couldn't get to see it. And I was watching it on the telly, like I felt it. You
yeah.
feel the, oh, this is powerful. This is so exciting. But yeah, your work has been so fantastic.
Well, like, but obviously, Jen, you're awesome, and like I'm like so fortunate to have a scene partner like you, and just like bounce things off of you. Because I mean, like I when I first got the part, I was like, oh, Jan Montgomery, she's done like this, that, that. I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right, I hope I don't suck, and let me try not to suck. And then I guess, but like obviously, like working with you, and then everybody else, whether it's Ryan or Jocko or Freema and Tyler and whoever, and it's just like I've found a way to get like I see the way that you guys work, and I like as the years went on, like.
I'm back.
Cool, cool.
Oh, okay. So a lot of people were telling me that there was problems with my audio, but I didn't want to cut you off because I could hear you
No,
fine. Is it any better?
it's a lot better now. Yeah.
Oh, I was on the wrong Wi-Fi. Oh no.
Oh, okay, great.
We were having such a good chat, guys. Anyway, carry on.
Huh.
I'm catching up.
No, no, no. It was just I was just saying that it's just really awesome to just work with you and to learn from you, because like as much as like we're scene partners and we're coworkers and stuff like that. I also do learn from you a lot. I guess like see the things that you do, and like just the quality of like your acting on the camera, and like when we're in like the scene together, I'm like, oh, she's like really soft. I should be that soft too. Because it doesn't feel when you see it on camera, it's like, oh, it looks fucking great. But then it's like little things like that that I notice like that you guys do, whether it's you or Ryan or Tyler or Jocko. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, cool. So because I have a really big theater background,
Yeah.
and that's something that I've.
And then there's like more the craft of filmmaking, right? Of knowing
Yeah.
mark and what translates on camera and what doesn't. And
Oh yeah.
we've definitely gone for a bit of a trend right now, cinema, television, of everyone being very still.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I tend to like to play against that, and
Mhm.
it works to a lot of the time, a lot bigger, but maybe that,
Sure.
I don't know, maybe that works. Ensemble show.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be a specific show or a specific like a director, or like there are some things that I see where like like who is it that who I really love, this director, Harmony Korine. um he did the Beach Bum with my Matthew McConaughey, remember?
Yeah, no. seen it.
Oh, it's great. He's in it, and Snoop Dogg's in it, and Isla Fisher's in it, and Jonah Hill. All these great actors, and Martin Lawrence is in it too, and he's amazing. But he's what I like about that movie in particular is that like a lot of these people in that movie are like these heightened people. They're like they're like I don't know if it would work necessarily in any other like realm or like world, another director's kind of world, but like when this you see this movie, he like these people who are already kind of like big personalities, he makes them bigger, and it fits into like the world of what he wants. It's really cool, but not so big where it's like fantastical, but big where it's like a little outrageous, and it's really great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like you can get away with big if it's honest.
Mhm.
It only when it comes to a place of honesty, then you're fine.
Of course, no, of course, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I've got a bunch of questions here. A lot of questions. Have a little look through. Uh, let's go with this one. But where are you from? Where you
Oh,
from?
I
Where?
see you at the bottom. Okay. I'm from, my name is Alejandro Hernandez, but like, I'm from New Jersey. I'm like the most exotic place around New Jersey. Um,
Easy.
yeah,
Tunnel.
yeah, I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. I'm from like Central South. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. Trenton, New Jersey is like it's the capital of the state, and it's like 20 minutes outside of Philadelphia. So I spent a lot of time in Philadelphia growing up because I have my father's side. I have people from Philadelphia down there. So that's where I'm from.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
have you always lived in New Jersey or have you ever lived anywhere else?
I lived in New Jersey. I was born and raised in New Jersey uh, most of my life. I grew up in my first half of my life I lived in Trenton. Then I moved to a suburb called Hamilton. But my upbringing was all in New Jersey. My childhood was there. Grew up in like an inner city, like a blue collar neighborhood, a very blue collar Hispanic working class area that you see in a lot of like Eastern, Eastern United States kind of cities. Yeah, I mean, I grew up there. I grew up around a lot of people of not just mostly Puerto Rican, but a lot of people from all over, like Hispanic uh, immigrants and families who are first generation, or I have friends and peers who are from Guatemala or Mexico or Nicaragua or Honduras who just came here when they were kids. So I was surrounded by a whole bunch of different. I grew up speaking Spanish. I was surrounded by so many like first generation Latin American immigrants. My dad works with immigrants, so that's a very big part of like my upbringing and my identity, I guess. I think I kind of take that with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's the thing to have right now because I mean I'm an immigrant and my
Yeah.
dad's American. You know, I'm here now in the United States living here, but to the be in that situation in America and the trajectory that this country's been through the last few years, especially, um, and the stuff we worked on in the episode that was on last week, which was
Yeah.
really powerful stuff. And I felt like you really brought it. That was coming from an honest place of things that I don't know if what you'd experienced or what you'd had before in the environment, but did you feel like you used that for Casey?
Yeah, I think I did too. I half me and half like people that I know,
Mm-hmm.
especially my older brother. My older brother, Carlos, he's had a we both we grew up in the same way, but my older brother he's as we say in like he's trigueño. Trigueño means like you're darker skinned, and he's a big brown guy, and he's been stopped by police like multiple times. He's had to deal with bullying in high school and getting into fights and stuff like that. So I think a lot of that came from like his experience and him like knowing that he's had to struggle with like having to prove people wrong and not have people have to go out of his way to tell people that he's not this thing instead of getting the benefit of the doubt. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely like dove into that a little more, and also like I guess my own experience and this like a lot of my my family's experience. I have a lot of cousins, uh, who are no longer uh with us. I have cousins who have been in and out of jail. Um, in my early childhood, and I just kind of thought about them a lot when I was getting ready for that, and obviously just thinking about my own experiences and stuff like that. But that's something I kept in mind when I was um,
Yeah.
uh, going through it.
Acting, it's you bring your spirit to like any role, right? But it's not you. Like, and you don't have to have had experienced the exact same things as the character has. You just have to be watching other people and learning and seeing. I mean, our job is about trying to replicate things that we've either felt inside ourselves or seen in a truthful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Your life. You don't exist in a vacuum. You have to like you have your life affects who you are and it affects your art. It affects the craft, whatever it is that you're working on. Like you have to bring that to you to what you do, and if you don't, it's like lying. Like you can't like you have to be yourself. There's always a part, even if you're playing somebody who's like, you've never done this thing, you've never been to this place or any of that. Is it harder to access that? Yeah, probably, because it's not very similar to your experience, but it doesn't mean that you can access that. You have to look, you have to dig a lot deeper, and eventually you're going to find something.
Yeah, or there's or there's like comparisons. You can find some kind of way in through a experience.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, absolutely.
I I've got so many questions here, Alejandro, and I'm not. We've had very long days, guys, so we're not going to be ages, but I'm going to ask as many as I can. So I
Sure, sure, sure.
asked how many how you got into acting, but I've got to find it now. So maybe we'll. Oh, hang on. So, can you speak Spanish? You kind of answered this, but maybe you could give us a little.
Y yo hablo español, ¿cómo mi gente? ¿Cómo tú estás, mi gente de América Latina? ¿Cómo estás? Gracias por ver, gracias por tu apoyo, gracias por tu amor y cariño. Y muchas gracias por todo. Y yo soy bien, bien emocionado para ustedes ver esta nueva temporada de New Amsterdam, de Nueva Amsterdam que viene en América Latina, yo creo, en el fin del año. Todavía yo sé que ustedes tienen lo uno y segundo temporada en Netflix por allá en América Latina, pero todavía falta el tercera, pero yo creo que la tercera viene para América Latina para ustedes este fin de año. Entonces, espérate, espérate, va a llegar va a ser bien buenísimo. Gracias.
I gotta say, popping off right now. That like people are loving it. I'm getting so many comments coming across. I'm like, oh, it's so great. I don't speak Spanish, and I have like Spanish in my family from Barcelona, so I'm
Oh,
sad.
cool.
I wish I'd spent more time trying to learn it. So maybe I will.
No.
It just gets harder and harder.
Well, when I grew up, I grew up in I spoke that was my primary language, and then as I got older, I started like to not speak it as much. I remember when I was in middle school, because when I was a little kid, I played like a traductor, like I was like the translator, and I was always deciphering between like my mom wants pancakes, the guy gave her waffles. I'm like, no, you gotta get her waffles, you gotta get her pancakes, bro. Like that's mom, mira, espérate un momento, hay que pancake, all that stuff like that. So, but like as my mom got older, my mom made a really, really conscious effort in middle school to learn English. And I remember I remember my mom going to like a little community college, like taking a bus, go to a little community college, not too far from where we live, and you took classes there. And then I get up sometimes at night, and like if I had like dry throat, I want to get some glass of water, I had to go to the kitchen, and my mom would be there with my dad, and my dad would practice the English alphabet with her. And like late at night, just practicing with her. That's one of my favorite memories actually of my parents. It's like waking up like 1 a.m. and seeing my dad like teach my mom English. That's like something that,
Oh, adorable. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. So that's, and I remember she made a really conscious effort. So like around middle school age, I started just really speaking to her in English because she wanted to learn. And now she speaks very good English now. There's some things that her vocabulary sometimes is limited,
Hmm.
and she has a hard time like reading things, or but like she can hold a conversation like we're doing right now, like no problem.
Yeah.
And you know,
You did
but
submerged in it as well. I feel like that helps a lot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I it's submerged in it, and then like I would like now I talk to my mom. We talk like both. I talk to her like, you know, I talk to her como yo hablo con ella con 80% en español y 20% en inglés. Like 80% Spanish, like 20% English. My dad's 50-50. My dad's fluent in both. My dad came here earlier. So he went to school, college here, so he knows English and Spanish perfectly. But when I go to like Puerto Rico to see my family, and I'm like out in like the country where there's like, you know, like chickens in the backyard, like roosters like crowing at like 5 in the morning, and like I stay with my aunt in the countryside, and like nobody speaks English, and or if they do, they know like hi, goodbye,
Yeah.
hello, and that's it. But
Like
then that one, huh?
like
Yeah.
I currently know.
Like what? And so yeah, but then when I go back to like you said, being submerged in a place, I get it, like it comes right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't lose if you don't use it, you lose it, I guess as in anything.
Well, there's enough Spanish speaking people on our set, I think, that if I did start trying to learn, I could have regular conversations.
Yeah, no, we could totally teach you, yo.
Yeah, maybe we
No,
should.
you got that thing. You know, like it depends what kind of like flavor you trying to talk though, you know? Like I'm
Uh,
like my accent, you want to talk to Emma, Emma's really like she's from Mexico City, but like, you know, I'm from the States, but I grew up speaking like Puerto Rican Spanish, so like, you know, we'll hang out, listen to some Bad Bunny, you know, we'll hang.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna go to the next. I'm gonna find the next question. Okay. Um, okay. Well, this has come up. This has been asked a lot. I am married. What's my sexuality? I am married to a man. So currently, my sexuality is I am. Little segue. What about yours, Alejandro? You don't have to answer that. I don't.
Uh, yeah, you know, I'm a straight guy. I mean, it isn't. I don't. I think it's a weird. I mean, not weird. I mean, I understand the question. It's fine, but like, it's a, you know, it's, it's just
Yeah.
a
Right.
interesting, you know, thing to say.
We spoke
Um,
this earlier, didn't we? How your private life is your private life, and you can talk about the craft and maybe a little bit about where you're from, but the, there has to be some kind of mystery behind who we are in order for us to play as all the different parts that we want to be able to play.
yeah, I mean, like, you know, you have to like, whether like, you know, I'm a straight man or a bi man or a gay man or a trans, whatever what my identity is, you know, it's your job as an actor is to be able to, I guess, not, how should I say? Some of what you were saying, I'm trying to figure out how to say it exactly, but like you're able to go into, you know, like to have that mystery, like you said, and to be this person or that person or this person, you know, and that's you know, that's
When once people know, once your personal life becomes public in a
yeah,
way that you're giving access to that, and very quickly it can become bigger than your body of work. So I
yeah,
think you want to keep your as much of, you know, you can share things about yourself, especially now with social media. I feel like I like to interact with my fans, and you know, Sunday, like whether I want to post photos and things of her, it's trying to find the right balance, I think, which isn't always easy. But if I didn't post photos of Sunday, I wouldn't post anything because they're the only photos I take.
she's gotten so big.
I know.
She's so big.
How
How
crazy is that? You knew me pregnant. then
She's
not
like
yeah,
this.
you've seen the whole spectrum.
She's 2 years old, right? No, two.
Yeah,
Two.
she just turned two. She just turned two.
But she's a big girl. She looks like some like 5-year-olds that I know. She's tall.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is. She's yeah. Yeah, I
Is
know.
she
She's almost as big as me.
is she into like sports or anything? Does she have like a thing like that?
She's just started soccer actually. So
Oh,
I know that Joe is really hoping that it really takes off and she gets into the World Cup. But you know, it might be a little bit too early to make a call on that.
could you?
Okay, so here is a question from Clara. Hi, Clara. She is asking us how it is filming and living in New York during the pandemic. Well,
Um, Go for it.
yeah, it's difficult. I would say for us, it is a little strange at times, um, but more for the crew. I feel like I'm sort of in awe of the fact that they are in face masks and face shields for 14 hours a day. Um, but I think by and large, we've all done really well to shoot this season under the conditions that we have. Wouldn't you agree, Alejandro?
Yeah, I mean it's been crazy. We started like very late. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously because we had to go through like protocols and how everybody's like, how the hell are we gonna like do this and stuff like that. But you know, it's been interesting. It's just been an interesting time in human history in general. Of just I don't know. It's just I can't even really explain it. You really like think about how I guess I mean fragile life is and stuff like that, and then you really like this whole thing. I think I've gathered from the whole thing is like witnessing like everybody's like common humanity. Like it's crazy like how sometimes like I don't know. I'm just gonna speak from my personal experience. Like when I see people that don't wear the mask, it's not even that I'm like afraid, quote unquote, of getting anything or being infected. I'm more pissed off that that person is not thinking about other people. And I think that a lot of this, for me, that this pandemic has kind of like shown that a little bit, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. Like you're just like, man, like some people are like, doing their thing and they're doing their part and they're caring about others and they're just, whether they think of whatever their personal opinions are, they're just respecting other people's other opinions, and that's great. And you have people who just like don't like care, and that's super frustrating. And like I've seen that way too many times the past year. I'm like, dang, what's wrong with people?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
mhm.
It's a
but
difficult one, isn't it? With the
yeah,
you can't. What makes some of us it feels like just obvious, but to other
mhm.
people, I guess it isn't.
Yeah, it's very strange. What time is it? I got time for one more question.
Okay, let's do it.
One
One more
more question.
question. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick scroll through. I'm gonna
Let's do it.
find a
Let's do
good
it. Let's
one.
do it.
1 second. What is your most favorite food?
Oh, good one. I like that. Man, I would say it's not a fancy dish. It's just a regular like it's arroz con habichuela, which is just rice and beans. But my
Uh-huh.
mom makes it in a way it's so good. It's just simple white rice with like red beans cooked in like sofrito, and sometimes my mom will put like a fried egg on top, and it's so good.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's so good, and it's like so simple. It's
By the
just
way,
like
I don't eat meat, so that's like my jam. That sounds
yeah,
delicious.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
your mom needs to
awesome.
get me the recipe so I can
I
make it.
I will bring some in to you for you.
Yes,
I can make it.
please. I
I've
would
learned how to
love
make it
that.
myself. Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
got to. Absolutely. Yeah. What
Okay,
about you?
Alejandro, I'm so glad that people got to see a bit more of you and me as well. It was so great
Yeah.
to hear about your family and yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
coming and joining.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you. I'll see you on set, girl.
Yes, you
Later.
will. Bye,
Bye,
darling.
everyone.
Okay. How fun was that, guys? How great is Alejandro? Oh, wow. A lot of other people want to join me here. I'm going to go through and answer some more questions. Let's have a look. If I were able to do any sport, what would it be? I think, what sport would I like to do? Maybe the diving is kind of cool, isn't it? You know, I feel like I would enjoy to be able to do some incredible dives. What else would I like to do? Oh, gymnastics as well. I do think that's very impressive. Any sports, really. I was never really that good at any sports. Maybe it would be nice to be doing some team sports as well, like football. Yeah, so I guess I would like to be a sports person if anybody wants to teach me how at the tender age of 35. Next question. My favorite Bloom and Casey scene, all the way from Bulgaria. I think my favorite scene, I love working with Alejandro. This season, it's so hard. I think it was probably coming back in that first episode of the season with so much, there was so much in, like, it was going back to work after this pandemic and knowing that we were portraying that and thinking about all of these doctors and nurses and what we could, how there's such a responsibility on us to tell their story in a truthful way. So to be in those scenes with Alejandro was really amazing. And then in the stuff that we had in last week's episode, that great scene where, you know, both making valid points, but Bloom not really understanding because she hasn't experienced the same things as Casey. So yeah, I really felt like that scene, there were like fireworks. Okay. I do have other tattoos, yes. Um, and because I have come from work, this one here has been covered. Uh, and so has this one here. So I can't even show you. I've got one on the back of my neck, but you have to be eagle-eyed and keep an eye out for them when I post things in my story. But yeah, I have two on, one on each arm. Hi, what are my three big zodiac signs? My three big ones? I'm not sure I understand, but my zodiac sign is. I've got to get some food, guys. I'm really hungry. My zodiac sign is. I keep just making it darker and darker here. Turn the lights back on over here. Oh, there you go. I'm a Scorpio, and I think I have a Taurus moon, and then Gemini maybe might be the other. No, Libra maybe. But I know that my main sun sign is Scorpio. I binge watch TV shows all the time. I have a baby. It's allowed. I think, you know, you can't if you can't stay in while your child is sleeping and binge watch shows, then what is the point in having a child? Um, what is the latest thing that I've been binge watching? Oh, People Just Do Nothing, which is a British show that was on BBC Three, I think, that Joe got me into. He's watching it again with me, but it's so good. If you're into Ricky Gervais and like improv comedy, I think you'll really enjoy it. Hi, yes, I do desire to know Brazil and go to Brazil, especially since I know that I had a lot of Brazilian fans of the show that I did, Salem. So it would be amazing to be able to go there and to interact with some of those fans. And yeah, it's great that New Amsterdam is also doing well there. And in Argentina, I've seen you all scrolling up. I'm like blown away. I've heard, oh, I just can't, it's amazing. And I'm so glad that you're all around the world are getting to enjoy New Amsterdam. Great question. Lauren and Reynolds. What happened? I don't know. You're going to have to ask him about that girl. I just don't know. No, I think that him getting engaged to someone else. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more questions. Okay, here, what's your favorite thing about Bloom? My favorite thing about Bloom is how fearless she is. Uh, she puts herself on the line in a way that so few people do for others. It's not, it's rarely self-serving. I mean, I'm trying to think of a moment where Bloom has done something self-serving. It's so often about other people and what she can do for them, and she fearlessly keeps trying to better herself. Yeah, so I guess it's her bravery. Okay. Oh, I'm going to end with this question. This is such a great question. Yes, I do think in some ways the pandemic has brought the cast and crew together. I mean, we're in the trenches together to suddenly be shut down, and we all experienced it all around the world, but to suddenly be in that scary moment and not have the familiarity of your daily routine, not be able to see anyone is scary. And then for it to go on as long as it did, we were all really grateful and excited to come back to work, especially given the nature of the stories that we tell on New Amsterdam and what was going on in the world. I felt like we all knew that there were stories that needed to be told. But yeah, I feel like we are actually, well, I feel closer to everyone. I mean, you'd have to ask them. I guess we'll get some more people on and ask them how they feel, if they feel closer to her, to me, to us, to each other. We painted this wall. What do you guys think? Just one more. It's sort of a navy. When I say we, it was more Joe, but I bought the paint, so I did my part. Um, okay, I'm gonna do one more question. I feel bad. There are so many. I need to go through these. Maybe I'll try and do some responses. Maybe I'll write you guys some responses. Um, hmm. Have I ever cried real tears and used it in the show? Uh, when I cry, I don't use a tear stick, so they're always real tears. Um, I mean, sometimes I feel like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to cry, but then I just don't cry. You know, I feel like tear sticks are a bit strange to me. I don't know if I'm totally on board with it. Doesn't feel truthful. But yeah, so when you see Bloom crying, they're also my tears. Tonight, in 40 minutes' time, there's going to be a new episode. I know there are so many people who aren't in the US and are desperate to know when they can watch the show. I wish I could have answers for you. I don't, but I'm going to get them and I'm going to put them on my Instagram and share them with you all because you deserve to know these answers. Uh, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me and Alejandro. And thank you, Alejandro, for taking time out of your evening to be interrogated by me and my fans. Thank you, guys.